Welcome to Winnipeg. Well, let's see if we can maybe get through step 16 here. And 17, that involves these four major pieces right here. I think it was Jerry reminded me that I was talking yesterday about where to drill the holes for maybe 2 more LEDs to illuminate the back area here. And he reminded me that you got more stuff to put on yet. Yeah, so I'm glad he mentioned that, because it could possibly be that I would have had the top end of an LED coming out in the wrong place. So we'll look into that. Maybe I'll stick these on, but I was noticing that these pieces here, they are not painted. I gotta paint them before I stick them on. So and I think that probably we will spray. At least that's the feeling right now. I think it might be easier to maybe spray into a little box like this than it will be to try and brush into it. I don't know how much of the inside of this we're going to be seeing anyway. Maybe very little, actually. Yeah, because this piece is, well, we'll worry about it later. And then there's a lot of little nooks and crannies right here that would be easier to spray than to brush. So I think I'll probably reset up, and I should have lots of the, what was it, 338 or whatever? Yeah, the 338. And we'll get that done. Then, after these pieces are on, then I can see where to drill the holes. Although, when I've got those pieces on, then it's going to be harder to drill the holes. So I guess maybe I'll just sort of position them and then make little marks where it's safe to go through. As far as my heated gloves, I did do the bike test yesterday. Probably some of you have already seen the video. I will not be talking about the pros and cons about those gloves in today's episode. We'll save that for part 2 of the heated gloves, or whatever I called it. Yeah, then I'll go into details. As I was noticing that I didn't say what brand they were or anything like that, or yeah, there's things I should be talking about, but let's not talk about it now. Let's concern this episode with the model ship. It looks like we will not be having a sunrise this morning. It looks kind of misty and foggy out there. At least that's the way it looks right now. Maybe in an hour from now, when the sun comes up, it might be a different story. The winding wire might be here today. We'll take a look at that. But will it be here before the end of today's episode? Well, it's going to have to be here by about 2 o'clock. And sometimes Amazon is fast and sometimes they aren't. I think that if the item is in one of Winnipeg's Amazon warehouses, we get it early the next day. But if it has to come from somewhere else, then it's usually, even if it's next day delivery, it usually doesn't come until the evening. For instance, when the gloves came, I think they came around 6 or 7 at night, something like that, in the evening. So, enough about Amazon. Yeah, let's just sort of, I think that maybe the thing to do here is to set up and spray these parts and get it over with. It's not going to happen all by itself. So, yeah, let's do that. Okay, I have so often said, life is what happens to you while you're making other plans. And about going on 4 hours ago right now, I think I said something to the effect of, let's set up to spray. Well, after I pushed record, I started to think about, first of all, a correction to make. I had said there was 4 pieces to put on the top of here. There's actually 5. I forgot about our little tiny tank here. Okay. now that I've made that correction, you don't need to comment and tell me. Okay, so I was thinking if we set up to spray, it could be that after we get into step 18, is there any other parts that have to be painted? I forgot. I remembered 4 hours ago. 383 or something. Anyway, the same color as this stuff is. And yes, there is. There's this right here. This has to be painted that color. I don't think the doors are. I think so that they will stand out. Or hatches. I don't want to paint them because I want them to stand out, so they will be a slightly darker gray. I just don't know which one yet. And the same with all these other little detail things. Well, this is obviously a porcelain sink. At least I would think it's porcelain. It looks like one. And so that would probably be some sort of white or cream or something. It might even be a gloss. We'll see. It might also be not even seen after everything is all closed up, but that's the way it goes. Okay. Yeah, so we gotta find this one piece. Okay. All right. I don't think we want to go ahead to step 19 and start looking for stuff. Well, we're still dealing with the same one, aren't we? J3? Oh, this is J1. No, there is another one of these. Well, maybe we could get the J3 and do it as well, and then it's done. So we'll get the J1 and the J3, and all right. So we'll do that in a minute. Let's get this out of the way very carefully here, that I don't set it on something fragile. So what's going on here now? Okay, I went to the dollar store a while ago. Actually, I went to $2 stores. There's a new one that's opened up just really close by where there used to be a grocery store. It is now becoming a dollar store, and I passed it a few times and saw the sign on the outside, and I thought they were open. I get out there and I park, and I find, I get a great place to park right in front of the door, and I'm thinking, oh, this is good. And I get out of the car and I go up to the door, and there's a sign on the door that says, "We are excited to be opening soon." And I look, and I could actually see the bolt through the door. I knew no use trying the door. So I thought, okay, I'll go to the other dollar store, which is maybe only about 3 blocks further in the other direction, which I should have done but didn't know. And I got hair curlers or rollers or whatever you call them. Now clearly these are not for me, but what they are for. All right, you have heard me talking a lot about the wind noise in my cell phone here when I'm recording, and it records out of the lens that I use is this one right here, and but the microphone for the left mic is right there, and the microphone for the right mic is, I believe it's this one. It's either this one or this one. I can't remember now. And so I it seems that it's also a speaker. Yeah. So I was thinking, now if I could just cover this up with a little piece of foam or something, and so I was perusing through the web looking for what other people had done for a dead cat. Oh, by the way, I keep calling this thing here a dead cat. It's a term that people in the recording industry use, and it covers my microphone here that I bought years ago. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Okay, so this is a dead cat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be making a dead cat out of foam, because you can apparently do that. And a guy had, well, let's just open it up and I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'm wasting a lot of time. Why is it that I always do stuff like this when it's time to paint? Why? I can't figure it out. Is it because I have this aversion to painting, or what? Okay, so the idea is you take one of these things and you remove this. Okay. And then, no, these are pink. I'm going to have to do something about that. I mean, they're going to look kind of funny on the stuck on there. Then you cut this like this. This is my first time actually doing it. I just sort of know what to do. Okay, and then it will sort of cling over top of the, or it's supposed to cling over top of where the microphone is. Okay, where's the microphone on this one? Oh, well, I'll figure out which one of those it is and try and get it most centered over it. Whoops. It says, hi, how can I help? You can't help me. Oh, this crazy phone. I don't know how to shut it off now. All right, I think I got it. Okay, let's put this back on here. So that covers the I guess that would be the right microphone. Then you get another one, do the same thing. And you would put it, make sure it's don't want it to cover the lens, or also this lens is quite wide angle, so I have to test that out afterwards. Now these might blow off of there. I wonder, yeah, they might easily get knocked off. They are on pretty tight, but I wonder if maybe putting a rubber band around the ends, or I'll think of something. Okay, so the idea is that is supposed to muffle the wind. I'm really anxious to try this out. Yeah, I think it's probably going to go okay. Okay, so that's what I wasted about 4 hours doing, getting hair curlers and also editing out everything you saw up until I started this shot here. Okay, let's find our parts. Otherwise, I'm going to have to change the name of this series from the model ship to Ron's Variety Show or something. Okay, one more thing. Some of you might have been wondering, why did I have this out in the scene and then forget to talk about it? Well, what I had originally wanted to tell you was that I was using this microphone in this handheld recorder and then syncing up the sound later, to get really good sound without wind noise. Okay, that's why I had this in the scene. But I was just noticing that this thing fastens quite nicely onto the bike. Why don't I just unscrew the microphone, mount that little thermometer that I was using yesterday onto it, then I can adjust everything just exactly right so that the thermometer can be easily read by the camera. Okay, when I grabbed the J sprue, I noticed that the J1 was already nipped off and cleaned up. And I was wondering why, and then I remembered, oh yeah, we had wanted to see how well did it match up with this one here, because this is supposed to go like that. Okay. Alright, get that cleaned up, and then we'll paint them both, if we ever get at the painting, that is. Our walkers did come by this morning, but it was a little bit foggy, not the nice bright morning like we had yesterday. Anyway, once again, they did come by. Okay. Time has gotten away on me here, but I think I have just enough time. All being well. This is all thinned out. It's about 50-50, I guess. And my airbrush is set to around 15 pounds, maybe a little less. This piece here, it doesn't have to be painted on the bottom. It's going to go down on top of that round thing. So we don't need to paint the bottom, we just paint the sides. And I checked a few minutes ago, and from the top of the submarine looking down, we will be seeing the inside. Maybe what I'm going to do is I will paint this one first, because then I can use this block to stick these other pieces in after. Otherwise they're going to be in the way if I do it now. Now I'm hoping that I'm not going to be knocking this off, and I'll zoom you in a little bit. We're not going to do any fancy videoing here, we're just going to get this done. Alright, fan on. think I'll put this back on because I don't want to accidentally be bending my needle tip here. Alright, now let's see how much we used here. Pretty sure I got them all. And remember, it's just as easy to pour back a lot as a little. It's maybe thinned out too much. Usually I have it too thick. This time I'm thinking maybe I got it too thin. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to shut everything down and clean my airbrush. And that should take about maybe 20 minutes or less. So yeah, we'll see you back here in about 20 minutes or so. Okay folks, I'm going to be a very busy boy trying to get everything done up so that I can get this episode out on time. So thanks for watching, and all being well, we're going to see you in the morning.